everyone, and welcome to a deep dive that's far from a walk in the park. You wanted to understand this whole golf wars thing going on.
Yeah.
And trust me, we're teeing up a deep dive into all of it.
Absolutely.
The why, the who, and what it means for golf going forward.
Right.
And our scorecard today, our guide to this whole thing, is Iain Carter's Golf Wars. Great book.
Fantastic choice. Really insightful.
Yeah.
He really digs into this whole tumultuous period.
Yeah.
Without shying away from, like, the complexities.
Yeah.
It's more than just, here's what happened and then this happened.
Right.
It's like peeking behind the curtain of golf at a really pivotal moment.
Okay, so picture this. You're at the Ryder Cup 2016.
Yeah.
Rory McIlroy, Patrick Reed.
Oh, yeah.
The energy is electric. Carter nails that atmosphere in the book.
He does.
But he also hints at this storm brewing under the surface, even then.
Yeah. Like this gentlemanly code that sort of defined golf forever.
Right.
But also this growing feeling that something's got to give. Yeah. Some players, some insiders, they felt the PGA Tour wasn't living up to its potential. Too stuck in its ways, not global enough.
Like they had a wicked slice and needed to correct their swing?
Exactly. And some people saw an opportunity in that.
Okay.
Guys like Ian Gardner, he wanted a faster game, more global appeal.
Yeah.
And then there's Greg Norman, legend, right?
Oh.
But always stirring the pot.
Right.
He saw a chance to shake things up, drag golf into the future.
Whether golf liked it or not.
Even if it ruffled some feathers.
And ruffle feathers he did, and that's where things get really spicy.
Okay.
Because enter, wait for it, Saudi Arabia.
Oh, boy.
Not exactly known for their short game, right?
Not quite, no. Now, look, it's easy to just yell sports washing.
Right.
And we'll get into all that. But to get why the Saudis cared,
Yeah.
you gotta look beyond golf. They had big plans. Diversify their economy, boost tourism, and frankly, fix their image globally.
Yeah.
They saw golf as this way to project modernity, openness, and they had the money to back it up.
They did.
Livy Golf was born, this whole new league, big games, huge payouts, totally different format, designed to disrupt.
It was wild.
Yeah. So I remember when the first Livy signings were announced.
I was skeptical.
There was a lot of skepticism. Robert Garrigus was the first big signing.
Right.
Good golfer, but not a superstar. Then there was Greg Norman.
Oh, boy.
Those infamous comments about Jamal Khashoggi's murder.
Yeah.
Calling it a mistake. Not a good look for a new league trying to,
Trying to win people over.
Exactly. The media had a field day with that one.
They sure did.
Early on, Livy Golf felt more like a publicity stunt than a real threat.
Yeah.
That is, until Phil Mickelson stepped up to the tee, so to speak.
Hey, Phil. Love him or hate him, you can't ignore him.
You can't. He was already a legend, but that interview he did,
Oh, yeah.
where he called the Saudis scary motherfuckers,
Oh, yeah.
while also admitting they could change golf forever.
Right.
Turning point. That's when things shifted.
That quote was like a hole-in-one heard around the world.
It really was.
Suddenly, everyone was paying attention to live golf.
For better or worse.
And the PGA Tour, who'd been pretty dismissive, realized they had a fight on their hands.
They did, because up until then, they were trying to downplay it all.
Really?
Yeah, Livy Golf was a sideshow, a distraction.
Wow.
But as more players started jumping ship, lured by those Livy contracts,
Right.
the PGA Tour knew they had to do something drastic.
And that's when they dropped the hammer.
They did.
Banning players who went to the Saudi League. Bold move.
Huge gamble for everyone.
Because now it wasn't just about money, it was about people's careers.
Exactly.
Their legacies, their friendships, everything was on the line.
Yeah, guys like Ian Poulter,
Right.
stalwart on the PGA Tour, right. Suddenly, they had to choose loyalty or this once-in-a-lifetime payday.
Right.
And it wasn't just about the money either.
No.
It was their reputation, their legacy.
The friendships even.
Everything on the line. Tough calls all around.
It's easy to get caught up in the headlines, the dollar figures.
Right.
But these are real people making tough choices.
Exactly.
And Live Golf, they weren't just waiting around.
Oh, no, they were playing hardball, too.
Right. They wanted to shake things up.
Big time. And they went after the best.
Yeah.
Offering these insane contracts, I mean, too good to be true, almost.
And it worked, to an extent. I mean, Cameron Smith going to Livy
That one hurt.
right after winning the Open Championship.
The PGA Tour really felt that one.
I was watching his press conference
Yeah.
after he won. You could tell something was up.
Oh, yeah.
He kept dancing around the Livy questions, but
The writing was on the wall.
totally. I think that's when the PGA Tour realized
Had to do something.
they couldn't ignore this anymore.
They had to adapt. Remember that meeting in Delaware?
Oh, yeah, the secret summit.
Top players, Tiger, Rory, everyone.
Trying to figure out how to fight back.
That was a big deal. Showed the players had power, too.
Not just the PGA Tour executives.
Exactly. It was a shift.
So, what came out of that meeting? Besides, I'm assuming, stories we can't tell on the air.
Lots of Tiger stories, but yeah.
Of course.
They knew they had to make staying on the PGA Tour more attractive.
Okay, like so.
They bumped up the FedEx Cup bonus pool. Big time.
Big time that you're talking.
Millions. The Players' Championship purse? $20 million?
Whoa.
And then these designated events.
Right.
Smaller fields, guaranteed money, no cuts. Rewarded the top guys.
The ones Livy was after.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They had to up their game to compete.
It's like whatever you think about Livy,
Yeah.
it forced the PGA Tour to modernize.
Right. Which maybe they should have done anyway.
Probably. But not everyone was happy about these changes.
Oh no, some players felt it created a two-tier system.
Right, favoring the stars.
Exactly. Created some tension.
And then there was the 2023 Masters.
Oh man, don't get me started.
That was like the center of the Golf Wars universe.
Total drama.
Livy guys against PGA Tour guys.
Brooks Koepka was leading after 2 rounds.
Right. Can you imagine if he'd won?
Would have been huge for Livy.
Seismic. But he choked.
He did.
And Rahm wins it for the PGA Tour.
Big win for them. Showed they still had the best.
Right, but little did we know.
Oh yeah.
Behind the scenes.
The game was changing again.
Secret deals were being made that would change everything. It's like a spy movie. Secret meetings, high stakes, backstab.
It was wild. And they kept it quiet too.
So quiet. And then June 6th, 2023,
Boom.
the news drops. PGA Tour, DP World Tour.
Right, the European Tour.
And the Saudi PIF, they're teaming up.
Merging everything.
This new entity out of nowhere. I was floored.
Everyone was. I was glued to my computer, refreshing constantly.
I bet. Players, fans, everyone was freaking out.
Total chaos.
Yeah.
Players felt betrayed, fans were furious, commentators had no idea what to say.
Because nobody saw this coming.
Right.
So now that we've had time to process,
Yeah.
what does this merger actually mean?
Right. Big question.
What happens to Live Golf? Does it just disappear?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
They're still figuring out the details.
Okay, so we don't know for sure.
But it sounds like Levy might stick around.
Really?
In some form. But under this new combined entity.
So instead of 2 tours fighting, it's like levels.
Maybe, yeah. Kind of like a multi-tier system.
And the players who, chose sides.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting.
Could the Livy guys just get to come back to the PGA Tour?
That's the big issue. A lot of resentment there.
I can imagine.
The guys who stayed loyal to the PGA Tour.
Right.
They feel like the Livy guys are getting rewarded for,
For taking the money and running.
Exactly. It's
Okay.
a tough situation. Lots of bad blood.
And then there's the elephant in the room.
Right. The sports washing.
The PGA Tour went from condemning the Saudis
Yeah.
to partnering with them.
A lot of people are calling them out on that.
And rightfully so. Human rights abuses are no joke.
Exactly. The PGA Tour says it's just business.
Sure, but it's hard to separate that.
From where the money's coming from.
Right. That's a tough one for sure.
No easy answers here.
So here we are, end of our deep dive into the Gulf Wars. Quite a journey.
Wild ride.
But it's easy to get lost in the drama, the money, the lawsuits.
Right.
And forget what really matters.
The game itself.
Exactly. And as you said, the game is changing.
Big time. But that love of the game, that's what matters.
Absolutely. And on that note, thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
And we'll see you next time for another swing at the biggest stories in golf.
See you then.